इन्वेंशंस एंड डिस्कवरीज ऑफ एंशिएंट भारत। नमस्कार गाइस, आज हम इस वीडियो में हमारे एंशिएंट भारत के जो ट्रूथ, डिस्कवरीज और इन्वेंशंस है जो आज वेस्टर्न सिविलाइजेशन क्लेम करता है कि उन्होंने डिस्कवर किया है, उनके बारे में आज हम पढ़ने वाले हैं। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम एयरक्राफ्ट। इन 1895 संस्कृत स्कॉलर शुकुर बापूजी तलपड़े flew an unmanned aircraft Marut Sakti at Chowpatty Beach of Bombay 8 years before Wright brothers. This aircraft flew at a height of 1,500 feet. Deccan Herald in 2003 stated, scholarly audience headed by famous Indian judge and Mahadev Govind Ranade and a nationalist H.S. Sayajirao Gaikwad. At the Bharat Isayas Sanshodak Mandal in Pune, there exists an undated handwritten manuscript of Vaimanik Prakarnam, a treatise on aerodynamics. Talpade studied and consulted a number of Vedic treatises like Brihad Vaimanik Shastra of Maharishi Bharadwaja, Vimana Chandrika of Acharya Narayan, Muni Vimana Yantra of Maharishi Shonik, Yantra Kalpa by Maharishi Garg, Muni Vimana Bindu of Acharya Vachhaspati, Vimana Gyanarka Prakshika of Maharishi Dundiraj. Let's talk about theory of gravitation. In his book Siddhanta Shiromani, Bhaskaracharya mentions about force of attraction resembling gravity, discovered centuries later by Newton. P. Johnstone, gravitation was known to Indians before the birth of Newton. The system of blood circulation was discovered by them centuries before Harvey was heard of. Bhaskaracharya, 5th century AD, calculated the time taken by the Earth to orbit the Sun. Time taken by Earth to orbit the Sun was mentioned 365 days, which is approximately, we all know, 1 year. Bhaskaracharya also invented many formula for multiplications. First person to find derivatives and calculus. Now let's talk about mathematics and the value of pi. The value of pi was first calculated by Buddhayana, 5th century AD. He explained the concept of what is known as Pythagoras theorem. He discovered this in 5th century, long before European mathematicians. Now let's talk about the most interesting thing in mathematics, quadratic equation. Quadratic equation was discovered by Sridharacharya in 11th century. The largest number of Greeks and Romans used were 106. In 5000 BC, Indians used numbers as big as 10 to the power of 53 with specific names. The largest number used today is 10 to the power of 12, which is least than what we used to use. Now the numerals. In 4th century BC, Panini was the first to come up with the idea of using letters of alphabet to represent numbers. Numerals are found in the inscription of Ashoka the Great in the 3rd century BC. This knowledge traveled from there to Arab countries and from there to Europe and West. Laplace, the French mathematician, wrote during Napoleon's time, It is India that gave us the ingenious method of expressing all numbers by means of 10 symbols. Now the fascinating thing is decimal system. Decimal system were developed in India in 100 BC. According to Dr. Thomas Arya, a German writer, the measurements used by the Indus Valley, which is 2500 before the Christ was born, based on the decimal system. Pierre Laplace said how grateful we should be on the Indus who discovered the great decimal system. Binary numeral system. Pingla is the name of author of Chanda Shastra, also called as Chanda Sutra. The Chanda Shastra presents the first known description of binary numerals system around 5th to 2nd century BC. Pingla's work also contains the Fibonacci number, also called as Matra Meru. Now the arithmetic. Arithmetic was discovered by Indians in the about 2nd century BC. Bhaskaracharya's book Lilavati, which is the daughter of Bhaskaracharya, is regarded as the first book on modern arithmetic. The Arabs learnt and adopted it from India and spread it to Europe. In 499 AD, Aryabhatta finished his book Aryabhatta, giving rules of arithmetic. Now the geometry and trigonometry. The brickwork of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro civilization shows that the people of ancient India, 2500 BC, possessed the knowledge of geometry. Aryabhatta formulated the rules for finding the area of triangle, which shows the origin of trigonometry too. Invention of zero. Brahmagupta was the first mathematician to treat zero as a number and showed its mathematical operation. Lancelot Hogben, in his book Mathematics for the Millions, There has been no more revolutionary contribution than the one which the Indians made when they invented zero. Albert Einstein, we owe a lot to Indians who taught us how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discovery could have been made possible. Now the Brahmasputra Siddhanta on zero, which is dated as 2nd century BC. The sum of 0 and a negative number is negative. The sum of 0 and a positive number is positive. The sum of 0 and 0 is 0. The sum of positive number and a negative number is their difference, or if their values are equal, then 0. A positive or negative number when divided by 0 is a fraction with a 0 as denominator. 0 divided by a negative or positive number is either 0 or is expressed as the fraction with 0 as numerator and the number as denominator. 0 divided by 0 is 0. Now about education. World's first university. The world's first university was established in Takshashila in 700 BC. Here more than 10,500 students from all over the world studied more than 60 subjects. The University of Nalanda, built in the 4th century BC. The Chinese scholar Qun Sang also studied in Nalanda. Medical. About surgery. Modern plastic surgery has its origin to India. Plastic surgery was done by Sushruta, an Indian physician of the 4th century BC. His team conducted complicated surgeries like cataract, artificial limbs, caesareans, fractures, urinary stones, plastic surgery, brain surgery over 2600 years ago, which is quite fascinating. Yoga has its origin in India and has existed for over 5000 years ago. Monks like Swami Vivekananda brought yoga to the West in the late 19th century. In the 1980s, yoga became popular as a system of physical exercise across the Western world. Medicine system. Ayurveda is the earliest school of medicine known to mankind. The father of medicine, Charak, consolidated Ayurveda 2500 years ago. Uses of anesthesia was well known in ancient Indian medicine. Detailed knowledge of anatomy, embryology, digestion, metabolism, physiology, etiology, genetics, and immunity is also found in many ancient Indian texts. Now the sports section, which is first Kalari. The Indian martial art. Written evidence of martial arts in southern India dates back to 2nd century BC to 2nd century AD. The literature like Akkanuru and Purananuru describe the use of spears, swords, shields, bows, silambam, and in the Sangam era. It speaks the Kalari talent of Tamil kings of the Chera, Chola, and Pandya dynasties. Astronomy. Knowledge of motion of heavenly bodies was discovered by Aryabhatta 499 AD, Latadeva 505 AD, Brahmagupta 628 AD, calculating the timing of eclipses. In Surya Siddhanta, Latadev talked about the Earth's axis and called it Sumegu. That the Earth is a sphere and it rotates on its own axis was known to Varha Mihira and other Indian astronomers, which before Copernicus published this theory. Now the most beautiful thing which we use daily is calendar. Discovery of measurement of time and discovery of nomenclature of days, months and years. Invention of calendar making was made in India. In his book Surya Siddhanta, Latadev 505 AD divided the year into 12 months. 7 planets of a solar system affect the Earth's atmosphere and their names were added to 7 days of the week, which was accepted all over the world. Townships. Excavation at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro shows India was adopting advanced house buildings and town planning techniques, including 2 stadium and water management system in the year 2500 BC. First granite temple. The world's first granite temple is the Brihadeshwar temple at Tanjavur, Tamil Nadu. The shikhara of the temple is made from a single 80-ton piece of granite. The magnificent temple was built in just 5 years between 1004 AD and 1009 AD during the reign of Raja Chola. This is quite fascinating. The reason is even the IIMs and the IITs professors are working on this temple, that how can one think of designing a granite without having a physics knowledge or the knowledge of those substances. So it is quite fascinating. The research is not yet published. If it is get published, I will surely show you how it is possible for the Indians or the extraordinary Bharatiya. Games. Chess. Chess originated in India during the Gupta Empire. It is one of the world's most popular games. In the 6th century was known as Chaturanga. In Sanskrit, it means 4 divisions of military infantry, cavalry, elephants, and chariotry. Snakes and ladders. The games of snakes and ladders was created by the 13th century poet Sant Gyandev. It was originally called Mokshapat. The ladders in the game represented virtues and the snakes indicated vices. The game was played with the kowri, shields and dice. In time, the game underwent several modifications, but its meaning remained the same. Good deeds take people to heaven and evil to a cycle of rebirth. Ludo. Ludo or Pachisi originated in India by the 6th century. The earliest evidence of this game in India is the depiction of the boats on the caves of Ajanta. In the field of textile, the earliest cotton in the world was spun and woven in India. Roman emperors would wear delicate cotton from India that they would call woven vines. Mughal emperor called the fabrics morning dew and cloth of running water. Calicos, skins. Calico originated in Kozhikode, also known as Calicut, in Kerala during the 11th century. In 1680, more than a million pieces of skins were being imported into England, France and Dutch Republic per year. In 1686, the French declared a ban of all jeans imports. The 1700 an Act of Parliament was passed to prevent the importation of dyed and imprinted calicos from the India to protect British textile industry. Palampur. Palampur is a type of hand-painted and modern dyed bed cover. It was made in India during the 18th century. Only the wealthiest classes could afford to buy Palampur. Crucible steel was steel. Crucible steel was produced in South India, Konasumudram and Gati Hosahalli. During 16th century, war steel was widely exported and traded throughout ancient Europe, China and the Arab world. War steel produced in Kodumanal near Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu. Use of copper, bronze and zinc. The copper and bronze artifacts date back to the Indus Valley Civilization 2500 BC. According to the treatise of Rasaratnakar, zinc was made in around 50 BC at Zawar in Rajasthan. Weapons. Rockets. Rockets were developed by Tipu Sultan and Hyder Ali in the 1780s. According to Stephen Oliver Ford and John F. Gould-Martin Jr. in the Encyclopedia Britannica 2008, Hyder Ali, Prince of Mysore, developed war rockets. Atom bombs. Julius Robert Oppenheimer, the father of atomic bomb, was the atomic test at Almaguer, the first nuclear blast. This question was asked to the greatest scientist Oppenheimer, and he said yes. In modern times, Mahabharata tells about the effect of Brahmastra and the description matches the result of atomic blast. Shampoo. The word shampoo in English is derived from the word champo in Hindi. In 1762, Sheikh Deen Muhammad from Bihar opened a bath in Brinton, England, where clients received a treatment of champi shampooing. After that, he was appointed shampooing surgeon to the both George IV and William IV. Religions and spirituality. The 4 religions born in India: Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism and Sikhism. Jainism and Buddhism were founded in India in 600 BC and 500 BC. Sikhism originated in the holy city of Amritsar in Punjab. The city was founded in 1577. Varanasi, also known as Banaras, is the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world. The Vishnu temple in the city, Tirupati, built in the 10th century, is the largest religious pilgrimage destination. An average of 30,000 visitors donates $6 million to the temple every day. Thank you. This was all. If you want something else from me, please order in the comment box. So, Stay tuned. Bye.